Good morning, friends.
Good morning, sir.
So, as usual, Team Shah welcomes you all on 21 Marathon Materia Medica series, lecture 17 on Magnesium Group. So, today we have with our today's speaker, Dr. Richa Tailor. I welcome Dr. Richa on stage. I request Dr. Ayushi to give her a floral welcome. Dr. Ayushi. So today, Dr. Richa will give us an insight into study of orphan remedy and who wants a harmony in their need. So, Dr. Richa, stage is yours. All the best and wish you good luck.
Good morning, friends.
Good morning.
Today we are going to learn a group which is known for its harmony and the orphan feeling, magnesium. Firstly, I would like to give a tribute to the father of homeopathy, Master Samuel Hahnemann, a man who discovered the nature's way of healing. Then I would like to give a tribute to Dr. Praful Vijayakar sir, the Einstein of homeopathy, a founder of the predictive homeopathy. Then I would like to give gratitude to the Dr. Amit Goyal sir. Thank you sir for your guidance, inspiration, and encouragement and always being there. So magnesium. Magnesium was discovered in 1755 by Joseph Black. The name is derived from the Magnesia, a district of Einstein Thalassy in Greece. Magnesium is a chemical element. The symbol is Mg. The physical properties are atomic number 12 and the lowest melting point at 923 Kelvin and the lowest boiling point is 1363 Kelvin. Now let's see about the properties of the minerals. And the magnesium is a shiny grey-white in color. It's a very light-weighted metal. That's why it can easily break too. And magnesium ions are sour in taste. And the fourth most common element in the earth after the sodium and the chlorine. And magnesium is the third most abundant element dissolved in the seawater. Now see the chemical properties. First is the flammability. Magnesium is a highly flammable metal, especially when powdered or the shaped into thin strips. It is however difficult to ignite in the mass or bulky, but once it ignites, it is difficult to extinguish it. So it was used in the weapon, used in the firebomb or the cities in the World War II. They never found alone, always found in the combination with other elements. Because of the movement they are alone, they catch the fire. Now let's just compare it with the personality of magnesium person. First says its flammability, right? It is flammable. It is said that it is difficult to ignite, but once it ignites, it is difficult to extinguish. The person is like that only. It is difficult to anger them, difficult to irritate, but once they are irritated and anger, it is difficult to calm them down. And it is also said that they are always found in the combination. The mineral is never alone. Once they are alone, they catch the fire. The person always in the group, always in the community. Once they are alone, the problem begins. Now the source of light. The huge stars are made up of the magnesium, and when the star burns or dies, lots of light is emitted. And this light comes from nothing but a magnesium. So we can say it's to produce a brilliant white light or a burning in the air. That's why magnesium powder was used as a source of illumination in the early days of photography, electricity, ignite flash bombs. So it is said that as we know that pain of the magnesium is like a lightning, the coming and going. It's like electric, like a jerking, and it is also used in the firebomb. सब होता है सहन करता है फिर एक बार फट जाता है. Now compare it with the photosynthesis. Physiological significance is best known in the green plants. It is found in the organic form in chlorophyll, similar to the iron in the hemoglobin. Chlorophyll, which transforms light into the energy into the plants, contains magnesium too. Magnesium molecules contained in the green plants enables them to photosynthesis. It says that plants have chlorophyll, right? And this chlorophyll helps to turn the light into the energy, which helps plant to bloom. So if there is a lack of magnesium, then plant won't bloom. There will be lack of the photosynthesis, which is compared to the iron in our hemoglobin. And magnesium is present in every living cell, in the muscles and nervous tissues, in the CSF. The magnesium content is higher than in the serum. Magnesium is the 11th most abundant element in the mass in the human body. Its iron are essential to all cells. They interact with the polyphosphate compounds such as ATP, DNA, RNA. Hundreds of enzymes require magnesium ion to function. It says that magnesium also helps to synthesis of the ATP DNA, which provides us the energy. It helps when we take food, it converts into the energy. Now, just like in plants, also in our human body, magnesium helps those enzymes who convert food into the energy. So it also necessary for our survival, which is our basic source. Now, food sources, green leafy vegetables such as spinach are also rich in magnesium because they have chlorophyll. Chlorophyll have magnesium is there in chlorophyll. Now, allopathic use. As we all know that cremaphin, it also has a milk of magnesium which is used for the constipation. So it is used as laxative, antacids, milk of magnesium. Cremaphin used as laxative also contain milk of magnesium. Magnesium sulfate sachet 400 mg is used to relieve the constipation with its laxative properties. So allopathically is also very good. Sphere is on the GIT. The energy production. Magnesium in your body creates energy by ATP, which is the fundamental unit of energy within the body cells. Without proper level of magnesium, the nutrition that you take in through food and supplements would not be metabolized into the energy, as you already learned. It contributes to the structural development of bone and require for the synthesis of DNA and RNA. Liver is the central chemical factory of body. All the chemical actions happen in body, and for those actions ATP is required. Sufficiently high level of ATP are essential to the survival of the all cells. Reduced ATP level, the liver cells are contributing to the liver cells death and may contribute to development of alcoholic cirrhosis. It says that all we know that all the chemical actions happens in the liver, right? And for that, the energy we require is also ATP is also formed by magnesium. So if the magnesium is less, the ATP will be reduced. So if there is a less of ATP, the chemical actions will reduce. So it will affect the liver too, and that will lead to the liver cell deaths and cause liver disease. Now in cardiovascular system, magnesium sulfate is a bronchodilator. Now why we need dilator? Of course, if there is any constriction, and as you know that magnesium is a very its affects his muscles is very good. It does if there is not enough of magnesium, there will be the actions like cramps and convulsions. It happens. As you can see that even in the rapidity, when it is in eclampsia and preeclampsia, any convulsion during the pregnancy, the magnesium covers most of the symptoms. Used in eclampsia and preeclampsia, convulsive tendency during pregnancy. As you know that high level of magnesium prevents the absorption of the calcium. Now how? This is a magnesium calcium channel. Magnesium will come in there in the calcium channel and block it. So the calcium cannot be absorbed. So if there is a high level of magnesium, the calcium will not be absorbed and that will be a hypocalcemia. And which can also lead to the muscle ache, cramps and spasm. And it will if there is a less of magnesium, the nails will be brittle and fracture can be easily happen. Magnesium is also used in the old fracture thing. So as we know that main action is on the bones. It also helps into the ATP formation in RNA, DNA for the calcium, and also help to maintain our energy level. Helps in the muscle contractions, help for the nerves, bones, and the genetic DNA, RNA. Now let's see the magnesium group. The common remedy are magnesium carb, magnesium mule, magnesium phos, and magnesium sulf, which we are going to learn today, and others are magnesium bromatum, magnesium iodine, and magnesium fluor. Now first see the periodic table. Magnesium covers the row 3 and column 2. Now from above to downward as we go, let's compare it with the existence. That first row which is like a conception period, right? Am I or am I not? Am I existed or am I not? So there is always conflict between them. As you go down, second row, which is like birth is done. Now it is still connected with the mother. So it's conflict between the separation. Am I separated or am I not? Now it's the third row. It's where the magnesium is there. Now it comes with the identity. Now I am separated. Born हो गया, separate भी हो गया. अभी क्या होगा? नामकरण. Or what is my identity? Now I am separated, but who am I? So conflict between always an identity. Now the column 2. Okay. In the first column, there is a structural structure. There is no structure. Always dependent on the other person. Where the natrum and natrum is there. In the second column, there is the structure is there, but it is not fully. It's the beginning of the structure. It's like a tent. कभी भी गिर सकता है. If there is any climate changes, any weather changes, they will fall down. So they always need support and someone to care them, nurture them. The confidence is very lack. As we know that magnesium is a lightweight, so we can say that the confidence is very low, will is very low. Now the basic understanding of magnesium, we will learn their traits, their needs, the progressive development of the reaction with the time, and other prominent indication of magnesium with mental and physical sphere. Okay, let's start with traits. They are introverted, quiet, timid, oversensitiveness, and homesickness is there. Now introverted. We all know what is introverted, right? Now introvert, there are many other remedies like calcarea, ammonium, and natrum is also introverted. But how will their reaction? If natrum is introverted because of their oversensitiveness, whereas in the calcium they have anxiety and timidity, whereas in ammonium there is a cowardness, but in magnesium it inertness. Inertness means don't know how to react. Okay, and the others are timidity, oversensitiveness, homesickness. Home means what? A support. They always need support and care. The basic feeling of magnesium. The main feeling of magnesium is the feeling of needing the love, care, protection, nourishment of parents. It is the state of an infant dependent on the mother for the nourishment and care, security and support in order to survive, but who has been abandoned by the parents. It is the feeling of an orphan. If a child is there, what is the basic need? Right, the love, care. They always want to be with their parents. They want love. Initial phase में money ऐसा कोई भी need नहीं होगा. Basic survival क्या है? Love and need. So this is the basic need. But if don't get it, they feel orphaned, left out. So let's see this. Money, a cake, a gifts? No, it was just love and care. What the other girl was having. She also want those cares and nourishment, and as you can see, there is a question mark on the face of the parents. What it shows uncertainty in relationship. I don't know who is there for me, who will support me. So this is a basic feeling which we see in the orphan. So orphan feeling of magnesium is commonly talked about is a feeling, not an actual state. There should be feeling of being neglected some way by any of the parents, unwanted child or working parents. So here we are not talking about the orphans, we are talking about the orphan feelings, okay, which can be seen anywhere, not just in orphanage. What is orphan feeling? Someone to care for me, someone nourish me, someone to look after me. Okay, which can be anything. Like if दोनों पेरेंट्स काम कर रहे हैं और बच्चे को देखने के लिए कोई नहीं है. If the father is died, the mother have to work. There is no one to look after the child. Then if there is any comparison into the siblings, अगर बड़े लड़के को ज़्यादा मिल रहा है, छोटे को कम मिल रहा है, तो they will feel कि मेरे लिए तो कोई नहीं है. So it is just a feeling, not a orphan. Okay. So hence we can say that not all orphans are magnesium, but all magnesium are orphans. For them, their relations, friends are like food. Now, what is food? Our basic survival, our sora. For them, their relationship are like food, their survival. Other feelings that shows that emotional dependency are homesickness, home means support, carried desire to be, oversensitiveness general, rudeness too, ailments from rudeness of other. Now, rudeness itself defines that a person is so sensitive that even the harsh word of other person is affect them so much. Now this kind of feelings we can only see into the sensitive people, not into haughty or egoistic remedy. Right? This doesn't make them coward. Now they are dependent other, they want supports and all this. That doesn't mean they are coward. They they have a love dependency more than support dependency. So that's why they are not in a rubric mind spineless. Now what is spine? Spine which gives our support structure. Okay, without spine they are nothing. So there is ammonium cup, baryta cup, calcarea cup, silicata, but not magnesium. Why? Because they are love seeker, not a support seeker. Okay. Now in today's world, we can also take it as an old age home remedy. Children sending their parents to the old age home. पहले के ज़माने में we can say that girl child ऐसा ज़्यादा था तो लड़कियों को ऐसा abandoned feeling थी. But nowadays people are sending their parents to old age home too. So as we saw that it is orphan feeling. We know that old age is a second childhood. The needs are same: love, care, someone to look after. So if they don't get it, they will also feel neglected. Mind insult offensive ailments from homesickness, nostalgia, carried desire to be, which is already we saw it's orphan feeling. Which is we can also see it in natrum mule, but natrum mule will keep the grudges inside. ऐसे अगर पूछोगे कि क्या हुआ है तो उसको अंदर आग होगी, बोलेगे कि हाँ लड़के को इतना बड़ा किया है, इतना पाला पोसा और आज जाके उन्हें हमारे साथ क्या किया, गांव में छोड़ के चले गए, बोलेगे भी नहीं पर अंदर होगा. बट इफ मैग्नीशियम दे वॉन्ट, दे विल से कि हाँ आज उनको भी काम करना होता है, कितनी अभी मतलब लड़कियों को भी काम करना होता है तो वो अपना काम कर रहे हैं ना हमारे लिए ही ना. तो मतलब वो फीलिंग हो गई निग्लेक्शन वाली, बट दे वॉन्ट शो. Okay, I will bear everything, but please don't abandon me. Now, the magnesium and calcarea both have emotional insecurity at their core, but the cause of insecurity is different. In magnesium, कुछ मिला ही नहीं है पहले से, कोई देखने वाला ही नहीं था. चाइल्ड को अगर होगा तो मतलब पेरेंट्स भी लाइक जो कर रहे हैं वो करो, but don't bother us. Their insecurity, which is because of their unprotected and uncare him in childhood. Whereas in calcarea, there is overprotectiveness. पहले से ही ये यहाँ पे मत जाओ, ये मत करो, ये हो जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा, इतना प्रोटेक्ट करके रखते हैं कि that's how they become insecure. कि बाद में जाके अगर बैंक में भी जाना है या रोड क्रॉस करना है, नई जगह पे जाना है तो they will feel anxiety कि पहले से किया ही नहीं, अब कैसे करूँ. The insecurity is their emotion, but the cause is different. Now pacifism, pacify means calm. Magnesium hate aggression, can't stand violence, aversion to quarrels and violence. This is expressed in the different ways. Firstly, because they find it very difficult to get angry, and also because they get extremely disturbed by all sort of violence. So they avoid violent people or even violent TV programs. Vitolgas has described in Magnu that they are the people who work for Greenpeace. So they hate violence and quarrels and all. So what they do? They escape them. And what was the reaction? They want to interfere in that. That's why they are known as peacemaker. So we know it's harmony remedy. Now why it is called harmony remedy? because there is a constant fear of loss. And additional theme of magnesium is a fear of loss of friends and family, etc. Fear of loss and being criticized. Kant described McCarb as a remedy for the orphans. He says, McCarb and Magnew are the most important remedies for the children of divorced and quarreling parents. Quarrels can lead to the breakup, hence to very strong reactions. They feel that even the slightest hint of aggression might cause such a breakup, so they feel relationship can only survive if there is no anger and aggression whatsoever. So very quiet, calm people even never quarrel with anyone, even with the doctors. So what they feel that even if I put my point, what if they criticize me? There are two different people, so different opinions. If I put my point or anything, what if they won't agree with me? Then there will be quarrel, there will be conflict. So better I should avoid that. So magnesium is in a rubric. Discords, aggravation, relatives or family in between. Discords, aggravation from chief and subordinates between. Now here, there is no fear of losing a job. It's a fight between chief and subordinates. It's not because he fear के job चली जाएगी. But एक और रिश्ता जो इन लोगों के वजह से अगर चला गया तो मेरा क्या होगा? So it is magnesium feeling. Okay. Magnesium fear 4 seconds of being and 4 second feeling by loved ones, by his parents and wife and friends feels not his being. So there is always fear of being 4 seconds. कोई चला गया तो कोई चला गया तो. Now uncertain in relationship, they still feel rather uncertain about it all. How to trust the duality? As we already saw that what if other person has a different perspective and if I put my point they will leave, better I should keep. They withdraw. And they also want their family. They are very vulnerable and dependent on his relationship too. So they become passive in relationship. कुछ भी बोलेंगे सामने वाला partner, they will accept. That's how they become passive. The fear that the newly formed relationship will break apart, that makes them passive and they will not tell the other person what they want or what they don't feel. So they adapt into order to receive the love. If they make too many demands on the other person, in case he will leave, so they start to mold themselves to the other person's wishes. Say they don't stand up for themselves or get angry, instead become completely passive to try and hold on to other person's love. Leads to the no desire, no likes and they become contented. Okay. The need is harmony, right? And adapting to that nature of not putting demands, eventually that will lead that they don't have their own desire or their own likes. They become contented. अगर बच्चा आएगा और मम्मी से पूछो इसको खाने में क्या पसंद है तो मम्मी बोलेगी कुछ भी चलेगा, इसको कुछ भी दे दो, इसका ऐसा कोई नहीं, सब उसको चलता है. अगर फ्रेंड्स के साथ बाहर भी जाएंगे तो कहाँ जाना है, कहीं भी चलते हैं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं, जो तुम लोगों को पसंद हो मुझे चलेगा, खाने में क्या ऑर्डर करना है, जो भी तुम लोगों को पसंद हो चलेगा. So they have no likes and no desire. There is also rubric mind, desire, nothing. Magnesium is in there. Okay. But that doesn't mean that they don't have their own thoughts. There is a rubric, a head belongs to other and magnesium is not there. Because they have their own thoughts, but they avoid them because the fear of losing is there. Natrum is there because as we already saw that it is in the first column, the structure is completely dependent on the other person. Now the contentment, as we saw, that opium is also contented. But the difference is opium becomes contented after achieving something, while magnesium is there without achieving but cause of fear of loss. So it's in a mind, patience, desire nothing. This passivity leads to love, pacifism. The avoidance of all form of aggression might raise to the ideal in the life. They will see aggression as the root of evil in the world and they have to avoid it at any cost. So they join the pacifist movement. So keep calm to avoid all relations alive and they do so by keeping themselves calm. So it's all in the rubric like this called aggravation. Now let's see the difference. Magnesium, natrium, ammonium. The need is for magnesium it's love and from natrium and ammonium is esteem and respect. Now what if they don't get it? What will be the reaction? Even when magnesium is hurt, will never break the bond with family and friends because he wants harmony at any cost. because there is a fear of forsaken. अगर कुछ भी हो जाएगा रिलेशन में फिर भी वो चलाते रहेंगे, sacrifices करते रहेंगे, break नहीं करेंगे. But in Natrum, it is hurt. When it hurt, it withdraws away into the loneliness and brood. He will brood in become loneliness, but at the point he will break the bond. He will make his boundary. Now you can't come in. So if anyone teaches them, they'll be like, I am not bichara. I don't want any hate or pity. I don't need your consolation. When ammonium is there is a hurt. It shows in the external form between the eyebrows. It is because it is in anger. They passes sarcastic comments. Now the Cinderella Syndrome. We all know what is Cinderella. Poor little orphan girl who was living with her auntie and cousins who were very dominating, and still she was doing everything for them. They were taking care of them, cleaning and everything. They were domination, but still she didn't broke the bond. Okay, she was still there. So the Cinderella Syndrome was the first described by the Collett Dowling. It is an unconscious desire to be taken care by and to take care. To complex is named after the fairy tale Cinderella. The syndrome includes feeling of anxiety, fear of rejection, guilt, hostility, loss of self-esteem, uncertainty of position and in relationship. ऐसे नो कि जितना भी हो रहा था वो सह जा रही थी, कुछ डिमांड्स भी नहीं रख रही थी, उसके साथ रहना भी था. अगर मैं कुछ बोलूँगी तो what if के वो मुझे निकाल देंगे. There is a fear, and we know that all her friends were animals, right, and birds. Just like in Magnesium Group, they love children and animals because they don't have that ego. They will be your friends easily. So as also, what is need? Love. What is fear? Being forsaken. What he wants? The harmony. And what his reaction? Which is calm and contented. A patient becomes so much contented that sometimes he is unaware of his behavior, which is known as repressions, which can be seen physically too. Now, what is suppression and repression? Suppression refers to a person consciously pushing away the distressing thoughts in order to focus on reality and activities of daily life. पता है कि thoughts आ रहे हैं, but they try to forget and not to think about the painful and unwanted thoughts. यहाँ पे we can see that thoughts are coming, but he is flying them away. कि नहीं चाहिए मुझे, पता है कि thoughts है. Whereas in the magnesium, it's a repression. Okay, it is the unconscious blanking of distressing memories by the brain, a way to cope up with painful emotions. It is unconscious. Even patient is not aware of this. They are buried down. Even they don't know. So the suppression we see in the natrum, the repression we can see in the magnesium. So history of being neglected, unwanted female child, lack of care, nourishment, working parents, death of father. All we saw that abandoned feeling, which leads to such a people tend to become self-sufficient. अभी देखने वाला कोई नहीं है. They become non-demanding, repress their emotion. That mind self-sufficient, helps of other needs no. There is a calcarea and Medica. That may seem haughty like retina, but it's not. We have to take a deep history. Then mind responsibility is strong too. That's minute. Now there is a responsibility come. Okay, but it also has a fear of losing. So responsibility you can take if you are very strong. But here it is also have a fear of losing. And as we know that it is a lightweight metal, so wheel is also low. So responsibility and fear of losing will be turned to anxiety. अभी इसके लिए ये भी करना है, वो भी करना है, बच्चों को पढ़ाना है, मम्मी को संभालना है, सबके लिए सब कुछ करना है. पर व्हाट इफ करने के बाद भी वो लोग चले गए, और व्हाट इफ मेरे से कुछ गलती हो गई और वो मेरे से बात करना बंद कर मुझे चले गए. So there is always fear and responsibility which leads to the anxiety. That anxiety comes from maintaining all those responsibility and with the fear of losing. That's why patient always seems anxious. Now, if anxiety is in patient, we have to differentiate. If anxiety is about future, it is calcarea. If about past, it is natrum. And if it's about compromising things, then it's magnesium. Okay. Now, what happens if magnesium is not succeed even after the best efforts? Any kind of inability to maintain harmony in surrounding affects them profoundly. They become very anxious and restless and feel abandoned. So they feel forsaken, abandoned, delusion forsaken, he is neglected, he is forsaken, feeling beloved not by parents, wife, friends, feels not being, delusion, deserted, forsaken. These are all the orphan feelings. Now, there is an orphan feeling, but doesn't mean that they try their best to resolve the issues. But they also get anger, but which is always suppressed or repressed, even they don't know. So eventually, that will lead to the sour temperament. Okay. अभी इतना सब कर लिया फिर भी कुछ नहीं होता है. At some point, this suppression will come out and on the surface, and which direct in the harmony starts diminishing. First they were very sweet talkers. Now that all will be diminished. The losing his sweetness and soften becomes sour. But it's not bitterness. It's just sour. मन अभी खट्टा हो गया. That we can face expression sour. Makeup Magnesium is there. They will like लड़की किसका भला ही हुआ है तो छोड़ दिया. Resignation नहीं है. But it is like अभी नहीं करना है. अभी खट्टा हो गया है मन. It is also in mind unfriendly humor. Now what is humor? A sarcasm we can say. Now timid remedy will go into sarcasm. They will don't directly tell you, but tell you in a sarcastic way. Now mind discontented everything too. Mind sulky. अभी जो बच्चा इतना अच्छा था, इतना obedient था, now he will become disobedient. Contrary. जो पहले जो चलता था वो चलने दिया. फिर contradiction disposition to. Mood repulsive. कुछ भी उसको छेड़ेगे ना तो वो तुरंत irritate हो जाएगा and anxious हो जाएगा. And that also seen in the physical level too. In all magnesium there is a touch aggravation. They become indifferent pleasure to, indifferent joy to, answering abruptly, shortly. So all the sweetness is gone, sourness is okay. Okay. So now there is lost. Friends, family, love, possessions now all gone. Now their psychotic need, love is gone, diminished. Now the sodic need, which is love, is gone, and now the psychotic need, which is money, begins. They become money-minded. Okay. The new way of survival. अभी ये नहीं मिला, अभी कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा. And there is also a fear of living that life again. So we can say that magnesium is also in the rubric like gambling, business making, money making, lotteries. Because there is always fear. As you can see that you can't see on the facial expression of the person कि क्या चल रहा है दिमाग में, लेकिन अंदर सब चलता रहता है. It's like an iceberg. पता नहीं क्या है, दिखता इतना है पर होता इतना है. Appearance of patient is very calm, contented, no tension in patient life, sit very calmly. Even though he have the severe issues, but subconsciously these emotions are active. Anxiety is still there. Another way the anxiety manifests is by physical symptoms and pathology that comes up for no obvious reason. So patient आएगा, उसको देख के कुछ नहीं लगेगा कि इसके लाइफ में इतना हो रहा है, but pathology ऐसी होगी. In magnesium there is liver affection, GIT affection, ulcerative colitis. All these pathologies indicates anger. So how this come? If patient is this much calm, there is so much emotion that they are repressed that even patient don't know. So the somatic symptoms are easily find out, but the psychosomatic is difficult to find. So we have to take the whole history. They say that they don't have any tension whatsoever, and yet they have the most severe problem and pain. These repressed emotions can also expressed in a form of dream, and this usually gives the strongest confirmation of magnesium. Magnesium patients have a plenty of dreams. Dream section is richest in magnesium, as dreams are the window to the inner world of magnesium. Now what are dreams? Our subconscious activities, subconscious thoughts, which are even sometimes we are not aware of it. So that is very important in magnesium, that the repressed emotions can sometimes comes out in the form of dreams. So emotion repressed but subconsciously active and can be expressed in a form of dream. And so the dreams of magnesium. Okay. The dreams can be colorful or black and white, means happy or not happy. The dreams of magnesium, there is a dangerous situation where there is no feeling of danger in the dream. Some patient, example, that patient feel that they are standing near the flood of water but they feel nothing. They are just watching it. मुझे पता है कि सब हो रहा है पर मैं कुछ कर नहीं सकता हूँ कुछ. In another dreams, they also feeling of aloneness, loneliness. McCarb has a dream of lost in the home, whereas Meg Muir have a dream of lost in the jungle. We know the reason later on. And there is also feeling that robbers are come into the house but patient is alone. सब जगह पे अकेला है, मुसीबतें आ रही है but I can't do anything and I am alone. No one for me. Theme of being left out. That dream that they were on a railway platform and the train depart all the relatives while the patient was left behind. The dream of shame and guilt. He or she running naked on the road or he has gone to swimming pool and somebody take away the clothes. Dream he is taking bath and somebody enters. He is sleeping in the bedroom without clothes and somebody enters. All this shows that shame and guilt. Now, dream of doing something big for family, rescuing from fire. This can be seen in the Magnesium Group because of they have a strong responsibility, a strong duty. So, child mostly dreams that my house is on fire and I am rescuing everyone. This is also pleasant dreams. Dream that magnesium patient gets are usually dreams of being with the people, going for a picnic with the relatives, meeting friends, being with the relatives who are actually dead. So in pleasant dream, they are with the people. Okay, they are not alone. Dream of consists of unfulfilled dreams. Dream of graduation, becoming celebrity, winning race, coming first, all unfulfilled desires, which they all pop up in the dream. क्योंकि कभी कुछ उसके लिए स्टैंड ही नहीं लिया, मुझे ये करना था पर नहीं किया. So they all those unfulfilled desires, they will come in the dreams. There is a dream. Okay. So all the repressed emotions come out in a form of dream, like a cooker steam. Dream of war, destruction, dream of death, suicide, murder. That can be seen in the syphilitic phase. That's syphilitic dreams. So onset of magnesium, people say they don't have any dream. Even after closely asked questions, they are not able to remember single dream that they had in past several years or even their whole lives. This is strong indication of magnesium too. Dream is a healthy phenomenon. Okay, but if absence of dream indicates a severe repression, indicates there is a strong barrier between the subconscious and the conscious mind. When patient don't know. So if there is no dream, there is a severe repression, so we can see the severe pathologies. So we already saw that somatic symptoms appear easily, but psychosomatic symptoms difficult to find. They feel कि कोई है ही नहीं ध्यान देने के लिए, अभी ध्यान देके क्या ही करेंगे. So they also despair. Now in such a patient, you get two possibilities. They might sleepless and can't attribute to this any cause. Or patients say that they have no dreams, but in the morning while they wake, they feel completely unrefreshed as if the mind was active the whole night. Or this can be seen in patients who do dreams, who remember their dreams. Okay. They say that I dream so much that even I am completely exhausted in the morning. So there are two possibilities. Either patient dream too much, the other patient dream too much, but they don't remember. They said I don't have any dreams. But in the morning, they are very unrefreshed. Why? Because the mind is working whole the night. So we have to, if the patient say, I don't have any dreams, we have to ask the question, are you fresh in the morning? And they also sleeplessness and they don't know what the cause. Because they don't know that what is going on in my life. I don't know my feelings. But the anxiety is there subconsciously. So there is sleeplessness, but they don't know the cause.
I was still that guy who made everyone laugh as far as my friends are concerned. And it's a great feeling. No matter long distance, long journeys, video calls, text messages, and postcards. Of course, everything. I was always available all the time. I was there making sure that my friends are happy, making sure they go through their sadness with a little bit of laughter, bits and bits of laughter and everything. But I've realized, I actually kind of realized it today, that it's also my curse. It's my weakness. I'm always there. I've always been there, right? For everyone, for all of you. But when it comes to me, I got no one. No? I guess it's my inherent personality. मैं ऐसे ही हूँ. I always go out of my way to tell people that I care. I genuinely care. But today, when I need my friends to tell me that, G, it's fine, it's okay, it's life, do you want to speak to me? Huh? Maybe over a walk? I don't have anyone, man. And मैं तुम्हारे जैसा हूँ यार. I'm like you. The way you need me, I need you. And since you haven't heard me right, I'll say it again, guys. I'll say it out loud. I'm not a stand-up comic right now. I lost my gigs, I lost my show, I lost everything that I had. And I just want you guys to talk to me, man. Just speak to me. Just, मैं जोकर थोड़ी हूँ यार, सबको हंसाता फिरूंगा. I also need you guys. I also need my friends. And to think of it, I think being a stand-up comic is pretty easy for me, man. Because people already think that I'm a fucking joke, man. I'm sorry, I have to say this. Okay? And I'm not angry or anything. I'm not. And I don't want to be bitter. Why? Okay, here's a good one. Concentrate. Because every group of friends, you have that one friend who's not just a person, but a glue. And if you don't have that friend, you're that friend. And I don't mind being that friend, okay? And problem सिर्फ तुम लोगों की नहीं, okay? Problem मेरी भी है. When it comes to sharing my feelings, I'm also like a potato. मैं मन की बात ज़्यादा पटाता नहीं है.
So what were the feelings? No one for him? Okay. And need was, just talk to me. Ask me, am I okay or am not? But even after this, he is not angry. I am okay. But just talk to me. If you are with me, I am happy. I don't put any desire. So it's a person who fits in every group. A glued, he said. Best friend of everyone. That's how Magnesium. And he's stand-up comic. Okay. So patient आके बोलेगा नहीं इधर चिल्लाएगा नहीं orphan feeling orphan. We have to find it. That where is the neglection, where is that feeling? Now the appearance, hair, they are hard, rough, tough, curled up and stick to the scalp like Negroes. Now hard hair suggests excess of fibrin. Fibrin, fear. There is always fear. So the fibrin is the defense of magnesium. Okay, it's a psychotic. And thick hair suggests a strong domination too. Now carcinosis also have a dominated childhood, but they are molded in that way. Okay, it's like a bonsai plant. And their need is appreciation. They're very fastidious. Why? Because there is appreciation. Where magnesium is just love. Their eyes very expressive, deceitful. They may appear yellowish because of the bilious affection. Now the head. Flat occiput. Okay? What flat occiput suggests? Lack of love. There is a rubric. Head, flathead, occiput, magnesium carb is the only remedy. That can also find fluoric acid. Now the discharges. All discharges are very offensive and tarry and difficult to wash off. That is also cause of fibrin. Fibrin is there, so it is very thick and offensive and difficult to wash off. Now other desire star pattern on clothes and earring, and they like abstract arts. Now let's see the physical spheres. It's GIT, liver, nerves and blood. Now GIT. There is a milk intolerance. Now what is milk? A bond between a mother and a child. What it's provide? Nutrition to child. Okay. But unfortunately, magnesium people can't digest their milk. They're genetically that way that they can't digest it. Okay. A magnesium child wants milk, but system can't tolerate to digest it and throws it out in a form of greenish sour smelling diarrhea or vomited out in the undigested food. Now अगर mother baby को feeding करवाएगी okay, and child can't digest the milk, so it will throw it out. And then there is also irritability after milk that we can see in makeup. So the child will cry and everything. So mother think that he is hungry again. Okay, so feed her again. Again there is a vomiting and diarrhea and child will cry. Mother think it is also maybe because he is hungry. So child will think that mother is giving me milk because he thinks that I am crying and I am hungry. So what he'll do, he'll stop crying. That if I won't cry, my mother won't give me milk. That's how he become repression starts and become contented. Okay. And and there is also milk provide the bond between mother and child. After the birth, he can't digest the milk. So bond is not made from that state only. Okay. Irritability increase after the milk. Okay, after milk the child become very angry, irritable, anxious. Now what is the basic need for survival? Digestion. पेट सफा हर रोग दफा. अगर पेट नहीं बराबर है तो पूरा दिन बिगड़ेगा, मूड भी बिगड़ेगा. So that is our need, digestion. And in magnesium people there is a slow digestion. As we already saw that they can't bear disharmony, whether it's outside or inside. So in GIT there is a disharmony happens and complaint starts. Every individual have a good digestion so that it can generate a good amount of energy and live happily in balanced environment. But in magnesium there is no balance in digestive power. Okay, the digestive system is very slow. There is desire and aversion both for vegetables. Mostly in makeup there is aversion to vegetables, while in Magmu there is desire for vegetables. But there is aversion to raw vegetables. Why? Because raw food take more time to digest and their digestive system is already very slow. That's why they have a problem with raw foods. Okay. There is external heat productions and in the body, though they are chilling. Now why? As we already saw that the digestive system is very slow, right? So all their energy will go to digest the food, for the intestine to contract, to relax. So the all blood goes to there. So there is a vasoconstriction of the outer part and the vasodilation of the inner part. So their trunk and upper body mostly seems hot, while their distal parts are mostly cold. So there is extremely coldness, chilliness in lower limb, and generally it is heat flushes of upper body only. And therefore, when they sleep, they uncover the legs, but the upper part they cover it. Due to the lack of nutrition, we can also see marasmus. NCHS data were used for the purpose of comparison. Serum magnesium level was significantly low in the children with morbid and severe malnutrition, and in the children with the marked linear growth retardation. Serum magnesium level had significant correlation with the height for age and serum albumin. As we saw that if magnesium is not there, energy won't produce, the growth won't happen. So it is very basic need. The magnesium is also very soric for our body, just like its need. So there is also marasmus we seen in the magnesium person. Irritability children in marasmus, shrunken occiput bone in marasmus, McCarb and Natromule is there. Stomach appetite ravenous, canine excessive. Now liver affection, sluggish liver, cirrhosis, jaundice, etc. Okay, liver is the chemical factory of our body. All the chemical actions happen there, which is very important for all the functions of our body. Come survival. Liver also called as a energy production house. Somewhere liver is related to the family and the food. Whereas circumstances where a person feels I am going to die of starvation, the liver affects it. Okay, and what is the starvation for magnesium? Love, my family, starve that. So in that case, the liver will affect. Along the side, the three major organs that eliminate waste and the harmful substance in the liver is the liver. As liver remove toxins, in such a case of liver disease, toxins get into your blood streams and travel through your brain. They build up there and cause the mental and physical symptoms. So when liver is stressed, it can disturb our emotional health too. Emotions like anger, impatience, irritability can be seen. So when liver is affected, what livers do, it eliminate the waste products. But when liver is affected, those toxins can't remove, but they go into the bloodstreams and travel to our brains and our body. So it can also disturb our mental and physical health both. So liver effects on intellect, emotions out of control. There is a rubric mind weeping tearful, liver complaint in Magnesium is the remedy. अगर कुछ भी complaint हो which is related to the liver and patient is always crying, Magnesium is there. There is concentration difficult. खून जा ही नहीं रहा है brain तक. There is a dullness of brain. How they concentrate, and also it is caused because there is always fear in the patient of magnesium. They are always in the thoughts. Always the thoughts are going there, so they can't concentrate. So there is a concentration writing while, especially in the morning, because all the aggravations are in the morning of magnesium. Reading is very difficult for magnesium. What reading require attention, and magnesium don't have it. So it's reading unable to, and especially in the children, there is a delusion, imagination, reading after someone is reading after her, and which makes her read very fast. Okay, these rubrics patient won't tell, but if we think that it is this rubric is a Magnesium, that if we find that patient is Magnesium, we can ask to differentiate. Too many ideas reading while, that's why they can't concentrate and reading difficult. Awareness confusion. Mind confusion in the morning, rising while, noise aggravation, dinner during, always confusion. Memory automatic. There is a constant thoughts running. They are unable to stop running any thoughts or ideas. It may seem like a brooding, but the thoughts can be very trifling. ऐसा नहीं कि एक ही चीज को लेके बैठ गए या नेट्रॉन जैसा ब्रूडिंग है कि यही चाहिए कुछ भी हो सकता है वो थॉट्स रैंडम इवन पेशेंट डोंट नो बट देयर इज ऑलवेज गोइंग ऑन मे बी सम सॉन्ग रिपीट्स ऑन माइंड इट इज आल्सो कॉल्ड ऑटोमेटिक बिहेवियर एक्ट्स and the mind ideas too many abundant, same idea repeated. Actually, magnesium have this effect on brain of gradually declining the alertness and increasing the dullness, which may proceed up to the comatose stage. There is a rubric head and anemia brain, MEC force is there. We can see it in a coma stage. Now sleep, as we saw that magnesium people has a very disturbed sleep. There may be causations are because all their energy goes to digest the food. Okay, and cause of overwork of mind. There may be dreams or repeated thoughts or anything. So in the morning they are very sleepy. Morning are not good for magnesium as they are unable to sleep due to their anxiety about duties and efforts. रात को constant thoughts आते रहते हैं कि मुझे ये करना है, वो करना है, इसके लिए ये करना है, तो thoughts are always going on. Initially they develop irritability and anger with the morose temperament, but later dullness supervenes and it develops into the state of confusion and even stupor in advanced state. बच्चे सुबह उठते हैं तो थोड़ा भी मदर बोलती है कि इनसे ना सुबह बात मत करो, 1-2 घंटे बात मत करो, then they will be okay. We will thought कि lazy होगा, अगर स्कूल नहीं जाना होगा ऐसे लिए होगा, but मदर will say नहीं ऐसा नहीं है, अगर संडे को भी उठा है अपनी मन से भी उठे ना, फिर भी सुबह 1-2 घंटे बात मत करो, फिर वो ओके हो जाएगा. That is magnesium. Now there is a anxiety before stool. पेट साफ हो जाए फिर अच्छा लगता है, उसके पहले चिड़चिड़ापन रहता है. The Magnesium is the only remedy. Okay, so mind dullness morning. There is a dullness, confusion of mind, stupor, everything. So start with irritability, anxious, and it may gradually go to the top indisposed. Okay, stupor, which is a much deeper level of unconsciousness where only vigorous repeated stimuli arise individually for a brief moment. It is a stage which is before coma, but it is more than unconsciousness, right? अगर vigorous repeated stimuli होगा ऐसे मार के उठाओगे तो फिर वो थोड़ा मूव करेगा, ठीक है? So it is a stupor stage in the morning. Effect on muscles and bone. Magnesium also play a role in the regulating muscle and contractions. Act as a natural calcium blocker to help muscles relax. Without enough magnesium, muscles can't properly relax. So magnesium helps into the relaxation of muscles while the calcium helps into the constriction. So if there is not enough magnesium, there will be no relaxation. So it may cause the crash. And there is also lots of fear in the magnesium patient which causes spasm. So there is a cramps, constriction, jerking, in all those rubrics you can find magnesium. Cramps of calf muscles, which is very particular, and especially at the night. Now, magnesium is an important mineral for the excitation of nerve cells membrane such as brain cells. A lack of magnesium may cause nerve disturbance and promotes a mental health conditions in some people. Magnesium play two important roles in the brain which may contribute to these symptoms. Now, magnesium will block the activity of the stimulating neurotransmitters and it binds to the calming receptors. So, we can see this miasm, right? In soaring, it's very capriciousness. ये करना है, वो करना है, इसके लिए ये करना है, ये करूँ या वो करूँ, सबको खुश कैसे रखूँ? It's capriciousness, and there is no stability and firmness. Okay, anxiety is there. It's sensitive to rudeness, discords, quarrels. There is also jealousy, as we know that sibling jealousy is there. Joyless, quiet, discontented, anxiety. In psychotic, he becomes patient, responsible, sad. He feels alone, orphaned, but the sensitivity is still there. Okay, the talk indisposed to. But in psychotic, there is more fear. In syphilis, there is indifferent. He become in indifference. It is we can see we may find that it is not completely indifferent or indifference. The sepia is also there, but for sepia, it is indifference due to its identity. Identity नहीं मिली है उसके बाद. Whereas in magnesium, it is cause of love. Misanthropy, he is confused and behave chaotically, confused. Shrieking and startling is also seen. So in Sora, more anxiety, psychotic fear, and in syphilis, it's confusion and dullness. Even the dreams are like that. In Sora, the dream of fire, embarrassment, stress on successful business. In psychotic, the psychotic need begins money. So dreams of money, luxury, lost in forest, lost in home. In syphilis, there is a dead bodies, death, mutilated. Now, Medica. Okay. The difficult, aggressive child is familiar Medica picture. They are the sour faced and awkward children. But where does this pattern come from? And why does this not happen in adults? And why don't we have recognized in it? So Medica, the magnesium quality, pacifism, aggression, fear of loss, pain, introvert, it is all there. And cause of calcaria, that comes as self-worth, respect, dignity, responsibility, undertaking values. Medica, remedy for the children of quarreling and divorced parents. Medica, there is a feeling that they are not appreciated. Now, cause of magnesium carbon, there is a self-worth and respect come. ओके अगर फैमिली में है बच्चा बोलेगा कि आप तो दूसरों को हो अच्छा बोलते हो, बड़े भैया को ही अच्छा बोलते हो, मुझे तो कुछ कहते ही नहीं हो, मैं इतना मार्क्स आता हूँ फिर भी मुझे तो अप्रिशिएट कभी करते ही नहीं हो. ओके they have a need to be recognized and accepted, and if this does not happen spontaneously, then they will show their presence in another way. They will force you to respect them by means of temper and tantrums. Now, Medica is the most irritable of all the magnesium. Okay, they need attention. They don't like tight clothing on abdomen because of the big digestions and the heat sensation of the abdomen. Other remedies like Nux vomica, lycocarbon is there. So insecurity about everything, which leads to the hyperactivity, aggression, sourness and oversensitivity in MEDCA. Usually children who get behind at school on account of problems with writing and reading. It's just so that they can't concentrate on study, and also calculate is there. There is also calculative inaptitude. और बच्चों को भी ऐसा लगता है कि पढ़ता है तो अभी कंटिन्यू दिमाग में यही सोच चलती रहती है कि अभी मम्मी पापा आएंगे और व्हाट इफ दे आर्ग्यू और फिर से सब चालू होगा. सो देयर इज ऑलवेज थॉट्स आर गोइंग देयर. ओके. Absent minded while reading, dullness while writing. Children who get behind at schools on account of problems with writing and reading. सर बच्चा बोलेगा मैं इतना पढ़ाई करता हूँ, ये सब करता हूँ, फिर भी पता नहीं क्यों मेरे मार्क्स ही नहीं आते. Now fat flabby children, some of are quite well nourished but their muscular power is very poor. Sour irritable temperament, profuse perspiration, sour smell of body, children disposed to have boils. In children there is a recurrent boil, then carb is the only remedy. The skin eruption, boils, furuncles, children disposed to. It's a single medicine rubric. Improperly nourished child, mouth full of ulcer also shows anger. Generalities, emaciation, diet and medicines in spite of. मदर बोलेगी मैं इतना कुछ देती हूँ उसको खाने के लिए, खाता भी है, सब है, पर पता नहीं बॉडी क्यों नहीं बढ़ती है उसकी. Because they can't digest. Their need is food. Okay, they can't digest it. The generality, emaciation, children in appetite good, still they are emaciated. Now adults MEDCA. MEDCA when this feeling like that of an infant which is dependent for the care, nourishment, security and support is very deep in MEDCA. In the adult, this feeling seems so out of place that it is not expressed at all in the conscious level. It is repressed so that the patient is unaware of what he actually feels. Seems as if they don't need any care from others. Themselves they are very caring, they are very contented, self-satisfied. Okay, they feel that they should not make any demands on anyone, should not ask anyone to help. In this way, they may seem to be independent. There seems no need or any care from the others. In fact, can be quite caring. No deep contacts, only superficial relationship. So, in childhood, they throw lots of tantrums and demands that I want this, I want this. Even after that, if they don't get, they become self-contented, self-sufficient. The repressed emotions can be manifest in the form of tremendous causeless anxiety, especially anxiety or fear that sometimes will happen to the people that patient is close to. Okay. Now there is always fear that कुछ हो जाएगा, especially for those people whom they are dependent. Okay, for mother, for child or anyone, they always feel कि अगर वो बाहर जाएगा तो accident हो जाएगा, ये हो जाएगा, उनके साथ कुछ भी गलत हो जाएगा. So they are always in that fear. Anxiety can be very acute and can resemble the anxiety of remedies like stramonium, rustox, argentum, nitricum. But magnesium, sleeplessness, causelessness. Anxiety is there, but sometimes patient don't know that why I am this much anxious. It has a symptom causelessness.
मॉम डैड को लेटर लिखती थी, कभी कभी हफ्ते में 2 बार भी. ठीक से लिखना भी नहीं आता था मुझे. मैं पिक्चर्स बनाती थी, उन्हें पेंट करती थी, बड़े बड़े वर्ड्स लिखने की कोशिश करती थी. लेकिन एंड में हमेशा एक ही सवाल पूछती थी, आप वापस कब आ रहे हैं? 5 साल की थी मैं. पैपी का हाथ पकड़ के पोस्ट बॉक्स तक जाती थी, लेटर पोस्ट करती थी, फिर वेट करती थी कि अब मेरे लिए लेटर आएगा, मेरे सवाल का जवाब आएगा. लेकिन वो कभी आया ही नहीं. जब मॉम डैड का फोन आता था तो लेटर ना लिखने का कोई ना कोई बहाना देते थे. एड्रेस चेंज हो गया, पोस्ट ऑफिस दूर है, तबीयत ठीक नहीं है वगैरह वगैरह. लेकिन मैंने लेटर लिखना नहीं छोड़ा. mom go आई with my new baby brother, Kiru. I was jealous. क्योंकि वो मॉम के साथ हर वक्त रह सकता था और मैं नहीं. मॉम ने कहा कि बस कुछ ही दिनों में उनसे दूर रहूंगी. Just a little longer. तो मैं खुश थी. मुझे याद है मैंने मॉम से अपने लास्ट लेटर के बारे में पूछा और उन्होंने कहा कि वो इतना सुंदर था कि उन्होंने उसे अपनी फ्रिज पर चिपका दिया ताकि वो रोज उसे देख सके. I was so happy. मैं भागते हुए अपने कमरे में गई उन्हें एक और लेटर लिखने जो मैं उन्हें उसी वक्त देना चाहती थी. मैं उसी वक्त उनकी खुशी देखना चाहती थी, उनका रिएक्शन देखना चाहती थी. तो मैंने पेंट्स, कलर्स, पता नहीं क्या क्या निकाले, मेड सम ड्राइंग्स, पुट समथिंग टुगेदर और दौड़ते हुए मॉम के पास जा रही थी. और जब मैं उनके कमरे तक पहुंची तो मैंने पापी को उन्हें डांटते हुए सुना. वो मॉम से कह रहे थे कि मेरे सवाल का जवाब क्यों नहीं देती, मेरे लेटर का जवाब क्यों नहीं देती. फिर मैंने मॉम का जवाब सुना. I can't give her false hope. छोटी उम्मीद नहीं दे सकती. सच तो ये है कि हम उसे अपने पास नहीं रख सकते. जब तक बिजनेस सेटल नहीं हो जाए बहुत मुश्किल होता है दो बच्चों को संभालना, इधर से उधर ट्रैवल करना, ब्ला ब्ला. Everything just seemed to fade away. धुंधला सा लगा. बस एक अजीब सी फीलिंग थी जैसे किसी ने मेरे हाथ से टीवी का रिमोट छीन लिया और मेरे फेवरेट चैनल से कुछ भयानक लगा दिया, समथिंग हॉरिड, और फिर टीवी का रिमोट फेंक दिया. Took a decision as a 6-year-old कि आज के बाद मैं उनसे कुछ नहीं कहूँगी, कुछ नहीं पूछूंगी. लाइफ में फिर कभी मैंने लेटर नहीं लिखा. Never. बेचारे पैपी फिर भी मुझसे लेटर लिखवाने की कोशिश करते रहते, बट मेरे पास अपने पेरेंट्स को कहने के लिए कुछ नहीं था. ऐसे किसी को कहने के लिए कुछ नहीं था. Just became quiet. Shut up. फिर एक साल बाद मम्मी ने कहा कि सब वापस आ रहे हैं. वो साल मेरे लिए सबसे स्ट्रेसफुल था. नाना नानी के साथ रहना था मुझे. अब उनसे भी दूर कर लेना चाहती थी. मैंने बहुत रोना धोना, बहुत ड्रामा किया, बहुत सताया सबको. पर जिस सेकंड स्टैंडर्ड में फेल भी हो गई.
So we saw that there was a jealousy, attention, love at initial phase, and when they heard के नहीं रख सकते हमारे पास, so after that it become quiet, contented. अभी नहीं चाहिए मुझे. So now the makeup woman, worn out woman, muscles are legs, tired easily, sweats upon little exertions. It is a worn out, that is the state of nervousness induced by excess of the cares and worries of life. पूरा दिन thoughts चलते रहते. After that there is a worn out. Okay, so makeup is known as also worn out woman remedy. Makeup 200 repeated 3 to 4 hours a time has given unfold relief to many patients of this kind. Now disturb in every change of weather and worse at the beginning of the menses. पेशेंट बोलेगा कि मुझे पता है कि अभी मेरा मेंसेस आ जाएगा. क्यों? क्योंकि उसके पहले मुझे सर्दी चालू हो जाती है. There is no coryza menses beginning of. Makeup is a single remedy. Menses before coryza, menses during coryza, it's makeup. But if there is a cough and hoarseness is also present, that's a graphitis. There is a much suffering at the menses in the woman. They are proceed in the labor like pain, cutting pain, backache, weakness, chilliness. Characteristic is flow only at the night when lying and ceases when walking, which is opposite to Lilium teeth. Okay, when the menses flows at walking and ceases when lying down. Flow acrid, dark, pitch like, difficult to wash off because of fibrin, which is also present in the now female menses lying only when MECAR, lying at sleep during waking season. Now pregnancy. There is sour vomiting and eructation during pregnancy. There is diarrhea during pregnancy, sour taste of mouth during pregnancy, weeping mood during pregnancy. As we saw that magnesium itself is a sour in taste. So all the vomiting or the any taste or any eructation, they will be also sour. So that taste sour pregnancy in stomach vomiting pregnancy, diarrhea during pregnancy. If there is a constipation, then it's a MAG-MU. Stomach nibbling appetite, थोड़े टाइम पे थोड़ा खाना चाहिए. There is a sour belching and vomiting. Okay, desire meat, aversion vegetables, which is in MECAR. In MU, there is a desire for vegetables. In rectum, greenish stool, diarrhea, scum on a frog pond like, and stool watery green scum with milk pass undigested. Now MECAR and chamomilla, they both are very irritable, very anxious and restless child. They both have a colicky pain before passing the stool, but in chamomilla it is more like yellowish greenish like a chopped eggs. In magnesium it is greenish like a frog pond scum. Reading keynote of MECAR is sensitive mentally, bodily, sensitive to touch, sensitive to cold air. The least touch cause startling. As we saw that all aggravated from the startling touch, startle, painful. There is a toothache. Okay. Teeth, dentition, difficult, wisdom teeth. Now what is wisdom tooth? It's in there, suppressed, wants to come out. Okay, so in magnesium there is a pain of wisdom tooth is also there. Teeth pain, toothache, borings with stiff neck. अगर दांत में दर्द है उसके साथ अगर neck भी stiff है, the MECAR is only remedy. Then there is a toothache after menses, then MECAR. In MECAR, before menses there is a cold coryza, after menses there is a toothache. In short, oversensitiveness, sourness, flabby, worn out, nervous person, sour smell, discharge, oversensitive to touch, irritable, 4-second feeling. Insecurity leading to hyperactivity. Now MAG-MU. In magnesium there is specificism, aggression, fear of flaws and pain, and due to muraticum there is self-pity, care, nurturing, mother-like feeling, attention and self-awareness is there. It is a salt of magnesium and chloride, and combination the magnesium theme of infant, dependent and forsaken with the muraticum theme of betrayal of trust and the faith. The main feeling of MAG-MU therefore is the trust and the faith on the people he depends so much upon will be betray him and he will be disappointed. MAG-MU patient depend a lot on their friends. Friends are people they can trust and the whom they care for. A friend is need is a friend indeed. Okay, but the MAG-MU person feels that they will let down and disappoint by his friends. So there is a delusion of friendless. Okay, the magnesium need is always there. I want friend, but due to muraticum thing, they always feel that what if they will leave? There is a betrayed feeling. There is a deceit, friendship deceitful elements from its magnesium mule. They avoid confrontation not because of cowardness but because of their further emotion sensitivity. They want others to be happy and satisfied, so they suppress their emotion for the sake of others. They close themselves to avoid themselves to be hurt. So, disappointment from person of whom they seek love and care and safety. Okay, if there is any betray, then they can't trust anyone. Delusion, forsaken, friendless. Get out of his way to get affection. Because of muraticum element, won't break the relation. He will get out of way. Very friendly, very helpful. But still, if he fails, then he becomes self-dependent. Mind busy with himself. Due to muraticum, there is a self-duty is there. So there will be two reactions. Specificism, repress their emotion. Mind tachytrum, indisposed to talk or answers abruptly. And aggressions, there is a great aggression, irritable and forcefully asks for love and care. But dissatisfaction is always seen in their behavior. They will pass a sarcastic comments too. Now the mag carb and mag mu, they both are orphan remedy. Now how to differentiate it? In mag carb there is a fat, flabby, lax muscles constitution. Fat, because there is always fear more in mag carb. So there is accumulation, it's fat. Okay, and mag mu, it's paniricative, मिला ही नहीं है कुछ पहले से ही. It's more syphilitic. Carb is more psychotic. Okay. In mag carb, it is a much more matter of respect, feeling as he is not appreciated. That he might feel that the parents don't think he is worth anything, so they will easily leave him. So in mag carb, there is more about the appreciation and respect. Whereas in mag mu, they have a strong fear of losing of support. They have quarrels that they will not be nurtured and cared anymore. So there is more of greed. Love is more there, while in carb there is no respect. Mind, in magnesium carb, there is a mind illusion forsaken by family and being lost at home. While in mag mu, there is a lost at forest. Now as we know that cause of carbon, the more insecurity and more feelings are for family. ठीक है? मतलब अगर in म्यूर there is in forest, मतलब उसको सभी जगह पे relation पे insecurity है. That home means in a घर पे ही सबके साथ प्रॉब्लम्स है, पता नहीं कैसे कैसे रिलेशंस को मेंटेन करें. सो देयर इज ड्रीम्स ऑफ लॉस बीइंग एट होम. और इन म्यूट बाहर भी किसी के साथ पता नहीं है फ्रेंडशिप कैसी है, क्यों, बिकॉज ऑफ म्यूर एलिमेंट. सो इट इज लॉस्ट एट फॉरेस्ट. ओके. मोर इन मैग कार्ब, मोर इरिटेबल एंड रिजर्व देन मैग म्यूर. एंड चाइल्ड हैव इन मैग म्यूर देयर इज अ चाइल्ड हैव ड्रीम एज इफ दे आर डूइंग समथिंग बिग फॉर देयर फैमिली because of their duty. In mag carb there is more anger, in mu there is more grief. In a carb there is touch me not, and in mu talk to me not. Okay. Now the mag carb there is a mostly diarrhea is seen, especially during the pregnancy, and mu there is more constipation. And in the mag carb there is a desire for meat and aversion to vegetables. In mu there is a desire for vegetables, aversion to meat. Carb is chili, mu can be hot chili. Now stated by Dr. J.T. Kent, I have observed, especially among illegitimate infants, those that have been conceived by the clandestine quotient, that they have a tendency to sinking into the back of the head. Now what is the clandestine quotient? Relation which is not there to produce any generation. Okay. पर्पस नहीं होता है किसी नई जिंदगी को दुनिया में लाने का. सो व्हेन दिस चाइल्ड बोर्न देयर इज ऑलरेडी डिसअपॉइंटमेंट इन फादर एंड मदर. वो बर्थ से ही अनएक्सेप्टेड है. इन दोज चाइल्ड देयर इज अ सिंकिंग इन द बैक ऑफ हेड एज इज देयर इज अ लैक ऑफ लव. इन ऑर्फनेज द मोस्ट ऑफ द चाइल्ड वाज क्लैंडस्टाइन बेबीज.
किस परिवार से?
मुल्लेटी पुष्पराज.
पिता का नाम बता.
उनका नाम मुल्लेटी वेंकट.
क्या मर्षदी, कोई कुछ भी बकवास करेगा तो मान लोगे? सच है या झूठ छानबीन नहीं करोगे? हमारे पिताजी एक दो बार इसके घर पर चाय पीने के चले गए, हमारे खानदान से रिश्ता ही जोड़ दिया. एक पति पत्नी के पवित्र रिश्ते से पैदा हुई औलाद और एक रखाई की औलाद में फर्क होता है या नहीं? खानदान का नाम जायज औलाद को दिया जाता है, नाजायज औलाद को हरगिज़ नहीं. इधर आ. तेरा नाम क्या है?
मुल्लेटी पुष्पराज.
मेरे बाप ने तेरी माँ की गरीबी पर तरस खाया था, इसलिए तुम लोग अपनी औकात मत भूलो. तेरा कोई खानदान नहीं, तू सिर्फ पुष्पराज है. समझ में आया कि नहीं? चल अब अपना नाम बता.
पुष्पराज.
हाँ?
पुष्पराज.
जोर से बोल ताकि हर कोई सुने।
What was there? The child was born after the clandestine courses. There was a neglected feeling from the birth, and sometimes it is not necessary that it must be in child only. The feeling comes from mother too. During her pregnancy, if there is any neglected feeling or any kind of feeling that may pass to child too. So we have to take the pregnancy history too. And after that, what happens that when he says that you are not from our family, the complaint starts, right? And then eventually, as you know that in the movie Pushpa, he after that he goes into the gambling, making money and everything, okay, which is also there in Magnesium. So now all the aggravations happens from the night 1 to 3 and from 5 to 9 in Magnesium. Now why? Because of the Chinese clock cycle of the digestion of our body system, so mostly at 1 to 3 the liver works, and at 5 to 9 our digestive system, large intestine and stomach works. In Magnesium there is a lack of in both systems, liver and GIT both. So most the aggravations happens at 1 to 3 and from the 5 to 9 in the morning. The best liver remedy, Magmure is one of the remedy which is almost specific for liver complaint. A liver remedy which constipation, chronic liver affection and tenderness and pain extending to the spine and epigastrium. Bloating of abdomen with liver complaint. Okay. Now sleep, it is also cause of disturbance, as we saw the strong sense of duty and emotional side due to GIT and due to liver complaint too. Melatonin is a hormone which regulates our sleep cycle. Okay, when in liver disease the melatonin will be disturbed, and the mostly it is said that melatonin highest peak is at the night. So in liver complaint, if melatonin is not released, the sleep will be disturbed. So the restlessness and fidgety cough, sleep disturbed, sleepness or the sleep like a dead person but very unfresh in the morning. So there are some rubrics. If there is a heaviness or the load of weight in the liver region, if the pain is liver region pain extending to the spine, there is a 3 remedy, Magmure, Salicia and Lepidendra. If it goes the liver region, aggravation from the pressing, as we already know that it is aggravated from touch, and there is a abdomen pain, sore, bluish, liver region, right side. It's a Magmure only remedy. Heaviness of the abdomen and weight, spleen region, walking while, Magmure. The bladder, it's a very specific symptom of Magnesium. पेशेंट सेज के यूरिन तभी पास होता है जब अब्डोमेन मतलब पेट को ऐसे पूरे जोर लगाना पड़ता है तभी यूरिन पास होता है. तो ब्लैडर रिटेंशन ऑफ यूरिन, प्रेशर ऑन अब्डोमेन वॉल्स, एमेलोरेशन, मैग्नीशियम इज द ओनली रेमेडी. ओके, ब्लैडर यूरिनेशन रिटार्डेड, मस्ट वेट फॉर यूरिन टू स्टार्ट एंड प्रेस स्ट्रेन मसल्स अब्डोमेन. मसल को अब्डोमेन मसल प्रेस करते तभी यूरिन पास होता है. दैट इज अ नॉमनेस ऑफ यूरेथ्रा. ओके, सो पेशेंट डोंट फील इफ यूरिन इज पास or not. Stool dry, knotty, grey, crumbling at the anus. Okay, the crumbling is in a pieces type, but in a greyish. Now in a carb there is a greenish stool. In carb, and in mu there is a crumbling. And if it is a burn, then Magmure is single remedy. It's known as dinner remedy, as dinner is the heaviest meal of the day, and it also at the night, and all aggravations happens at the sleep. So if anything happens after the taking dinner, then Mag-Mur is the best remedy. Okay, if anything like dullness or anxiety or constipation or weeping, tearful mood, or headache, anything toothache after dinner, then Mag-Mur. Now the breakfast is also very much aggravation factor for magnesium group. Why? Because रात को खाया है तो अभी पचा ही नहीं है कि सुबह वो दूसरा कुछ खा सके. अभी जो है अगर रात को 8 बजे खाया तो सुबह 6 बजे तक तो वो डाइजेस्ट ही नहीं हुआ है. That's why the breakfast is very much aggravating factor for magnesium. Stomach irritation, dinner after, hiccup after dinner, respiration difficulty after dinner, and chest heaviness. खाने के बाद सांस लेने में तकलीफ होती है, भारीपन लगता है. Magnesium Mur is a single remedy. Okay, weakness after dinner, remedy for the pain in old fracture. Okay, the generalities injury, blow, fall, bruise, fracture, bone. Mag-Mur is the remedy. बहुत पहले fracture हुआ था, अभी तक दर्द कर रहा है. Mag-Mur is the remedy. As mentally also they brood on the past events. Muretic amendment. Okay, Mag-Mur is the remedy for the food sweat, burning soul. Now food sweat we also see in Silesia, right? But what is difference? In Silesia it is offensive food sweat. In magnesium it is not offensive. There is a heat of the legs, so they always have to stick them out to cover them, just like phosphorus, chamomilla, sanicula, meadow. But meadow is not chilly. Okay, all these are chilly. Mag is chilly, yet they want their legs out. Now modalities or those aggravating from the sea water, morning, closing eyes, lying down, and ameliorated by open air, gentle walking, pressing. All the symptoms aggravate after the sea water. Natrum also have this complaint, sea water. Why? But what is different? That magnesium have a effect on whole body. There is a heaviness after the and worn out feeling after the sea water. In natrum it is mostly constipated and bilious affection. Now see, salt is there, and magnesium also had aggravation from the salt. That's why they have aggravation from the sea water. And salt also have adverse effect in our metabolism. That's why it also affects magnesium. If there is weakness after sea bathing, Mag-Mur. Cough after sea bathing, Mag-Mur. Expectoration after sea bathing, Mag-Mur, single remedy. Okay. Female, spasmodic hysterical complaint with urethra disease, headache at menstrual period. Now there is eruptions before menses, then it is on the head, then Mag-Mur is the remedy. If there is a ear obstruction during the menses, then Mag-Mur is a single remedy. The menses are very dark and black lumped. Now this in Mag-Mur female there is a complaint like leukorrhea during passing of the stool. Okay, जब stool pass होता है उस time पे leukorrhea होता है. That is Mag-Mur. Now children are punny rickety, children during dentation, liver complaint, punny rickety children in men, disorder of livers and sexual disorders. Magnesium increase, normally magnesium allopathically also increase the sperm mortality and increase the free and total testosterone value. That's why it's also the sphere of action is there. There is a single medicine rubrics. Hernia, there is a congenital hernia of the newborn, it's Mag-Mur. If there is a itching of scrotum extending to anus, pain in the testes after the suppression of the sexual desire. Then there is a dull pain in the testes after during erections, and pain in penis in the morning. Mag-Mur stocks. As you know that they both have like cramps and effects on muscles. They both have very anxious, irritable, confused. Both have concentration difficulties, restlessness. They both are chilly. Both have amelioration from open and they both have a morning aggravation. Now what is the difference? In rust stocks, the aggravation in the mornings are different. In rust stocks, it especially affects the joints. And it also causes, because during the night it is motionless. So in the morning that will cause the pain. And in the magnesium, it's entirely there is aggravation, not just muscles or bone. There is mentally dull, unable to concentrate, emotionally lifeless, and physically heavy and toxic. In short, lethargy. Okay, and Rustox has desire for milk, magnesium has aversion to milk, and even if they like it, they have aggravation from it. Okay. Now, difference between Magmure and Natramure. They both are introverted, love seeker, timid, and both have a salt aggravation. Now, what is the difference? As we already learned that Magmure is more to repression and Natramure is suppression. Both have a seawater aggravation, but Magmure is heaviness and dullness. In Natramure, there is a constipation and bileness. In Magmure, they won't break relation, but Natramure will break the relation. If there is a breakage of any relation, then Magmure will go to the brooding, ye ho gaya, wo ho gaya, but Natramure, sorry. And in Magmure, they will go into the fancies. Okay. Magmure won't take revenge, Natramure can take revenge because they hold grudges inside. Okay. And as we know that in Natrum is first in the column, so it's a structure always dependent on other. The head belongs to other, whereas Magmure, they don't have head belongs to other. Magphos, also they have qualities of magnesium and phosphorus qualities like communication, sympathetic, friends, curiosity to travel, restlessness and fears. There is a rather striking that both magnesium and phosphorus has a great need for contact and afraid to losing contact. Magphos has a fear that their aggression will take away the possibilities for the contact. So they both need contact, right? Magnesium also needs support and phosphorus always want to talk and make contacts. But cause of the magnesium that holds them back, because magnesium also has a fear of losing. What if I say something wrong? What if I do something wrong? What if they will cut the relation with me? So there is both. Want to make contact and don't want fear of that. So need many contacts and exchange ideas and feelings with a fear that if they will say something wrong, other person will get angry and break the friendship. Okay, so but have a great desire for contact communication. Become very careful about their ideas and words, fear they will offend them. And get tensed and afraid, eventually they become such an effort to have even a normal talk. Then there will be avoid people and after that there will be fear of the people can occur. The essence is delusion that they have lost all contact if they get angry. अगर मैं गुस्से हुआ और मेरे से कुछ निकल गया तो वो लोग मेरे से अलग हो जाएंगे. That's why there is a fight. Phosphorus wants to make contact, want to talk, but magnesium holds that back. That fear is there. That what if you will say something and they will break contact? You will be alone. So eventually they will indisposed to talk, and after that the fear and anxiety will occur. So fear approaching others to touch at least, as touch is aggravation factor for all men. Talking to ourselves. Now phosphorus has want to talk, can't talk with anyone. So what will develop? Constantly self-talking is there. Mind talks constant to himself is a Magphos. School is difficult for them. They feel that they cannot learn fast enough. They think that others will blame them for this and will start quarreling. Or they think that they will be sent away from the school because they are so tensed. Now head pain, headache, occiput school children in. Headache in school children there are many remedies, but if it is an occipital part, then Magphos is a single remedy. Okay. Another variation is that they might have now in the siblings, if the younger one has so many ideas, want to say this, want to talk about this, but the older one always diminish it. कि नहीं तेरा कुछ नहीं, ये नहीं मेरा देख. So from that the Magphos personality develops. Okay. There also cause withdrawing and timid behavior develops. They're extremely sensitive to pain and can't tolerate it, complain to everyone about his pain and suffering. Now this is very peculiar. Just in Magphos, normally all magnesium can tolerate pain and they won't say, but Magphos will always lament and talk about his complaint. Constantly talk about his complaint. Laments all about his pains. So if in a rule out point of Mag child are, if the child is very communicative, then it's not magnesium. Okay, but could be Magphos. But for the rule out point of MAC-FOS is, if they don't lament their complaint, then it's not MAC-FOS. So tall, thin, slender person, they like traveling, or quite the opposite, they suffer from homesickness, MAG and FOS. Sensitive, artistic people, startling is there. Now phosphate of magnesia is contained in the blood capsules, muscles, brain, spinal marrow, nerve, teeth. So disturbance of all these molecules that may result into the pains and cramps. Okay, so MAC-FOS is a great pain remedy. It's also, MAC-FOS is now known as nerve tonic. Okay. Nash says that MAC-FOS is a first rank remedy, pain remedy. It has all kind of pain, so cramping pain is the most characteristic, but all kind of pain, boring, shooting, everything, but burning pain is not there. Okay, and that will distinguish it from the arsenic R, as they both have amelioration by the warmth. Now there is a cramp of the stomach, colic pain, as you all know that MAC-FOS is the main remedy, and also there is a colocynth. They both, now what is the difference? MAC-FOS and colocynth, they both have suppressed anger. They both have complaints are very similar, like they both have a spasmodic pain, they both are ameliorated by pressures and the warmth. But what is the difference? In MAC-FOS, however, there is a suppressed anger because he is afraid that he might lose his contact with other. So MAC-FOS ameliorated by warmth, which we could translate as a human warmth or contact. Okay. And in colocynth, there is a colic suppression his anger because of the social pressure or social code of behavior. What if अगर मेरा गुस्सा बाहर निकलेगा तो लोग मेरे बारे में क्या सोचेंगे? There is always social pressure is there. So colocynth is more ameliorated by pressure because the theme is holding under the control, keeping it under the control. So it's more ameliorated by pressure. MAC-FOS more contact and warmth, so ameliorated by the warmth. Now writer's piano or violin player cramps. Nowadays we can also take it after the typing on the mobile phone. Okay, so there is a tension of forearms muscle extension while writing. Any complaint after the writing or wrist pain or anything, then MAC-FOS. It's a spasmodic hiccup remedy. Now what is the hiccup? It's a involuntary contraction of our diaphragm, right? So if there is a hiccup, in the hiccup during the dentition, then MAC-FOS is a single remedy. Tetanus is a serious disease of the nervous system caused by a toxin producing bacteria. This disease causes muscle contraction, particularly of the jaw and neck muscles. Tetanus is commonly known as a locked jaws. There is a delusion in the person that he will die from the tetanus. That much is fear is the MAC-FOS. And after getting vaccination, if develop tetanus, then also MAC-FOS. Okay. There is a face pain in jaw, articulation during yawning is a MAC-FOS. Nerve affection, if there is any ataxia, locomotor, then MAC-FOS is the remedy. As we know that all the rubrics you can see, the ameliorated by the warmth, pressure and aggravation from the touch. And they all are intermittent. MAC-FOS complaints, they will become intermittent. Now there is a trembling of extremities and hands, involuntary shaking. Good remedy for convulsions during the dentition in children, convulsions and cramp during dentition without fever. If in the pregnancy there is a convulsion occurred but the fever is not there, MAC-FOS is a single remedy. Teeth dentition, difficult convulsion during without febrile symptoms. Neuralgic pain of face. In sciatica is also there, especially right side affected, and if sciatica affect after influenza, then MAC-FOS. Okay. After any mental exertion or amelioration by warmth is MAC-SULF. Now qualities of magnesium with the sulfur, ego, effort, appearance, joy, love and relationship and jealousy. The main feeling is being insulted, unappreciated, disgrace, which is sulfur, by the person on whom they depend for love, care and nourishment. Now the MAC-FOS has always jealousy, okay, and suspiciousness can be seen. As since this partner will not love you if you get angry. They fear that their partner will not love them if they get angry, afraid of their own aggressions. Bottle up anger but can't give or receive love anymore. गुस्सा होगा अंदर ले लेगा but initiate फिर बाद में कुछ नहीं करेगा. Eventually that will lead to the irritation and indifference and quarrels and conflict between the partners. So irritability will get irritated with their partner by the small trifles. Then they can be forcefully asked for the proof from their partner's love. They will take it forcefully ask for the flowers. कि मुझे अगर तुम मुझे प्यार करते तो मुझे फूल क्यों नहीं देते. और if he will give flower then they will be like कि हाँ अगर तुम्हारे उसके साथ है इसलिए तुम मुझे negotiate करने के लिए ऐसे flowers दे रहे. So they are very suspicious. Even their anger are like that as you know that subconsciously their emotions are subconsciously. So they appear in the dream. They bottle up their anger. So dreams are also angry, or they become contented. Max self is the most contented of all the magnesium. Okay. They feel that they slow aggression to the partner, otherwise the partner might leave. So they stay grounded and keep their partner under control, otherwise he will leave. Jealousy is very strong, but they still have a great desire for love and warmth, magnesium. So they keep dreaming about the marriage. Mind dream marriage of lively, great, depressed. Child have a habit of sucking his thumb. Now what is this? Mother बोलेगी कि उसको कुछ भी बोलो, मिल्क दे दो या वो दे दो, खाने के लिए दे दो, पीने के लिए दे दो, वो कुछ नहीं खाएगी, वो पूरा दिन अपना अंगूठा मुंह में रख देगी. Now what this shows? Contented within himself. अपने आप में ही है. And Max self is the most contented. So mostly child have these symptoms. Sucking his own thumb. Now cause of this sulfur, the well dressed and organization and appearance is matter. Okay, even the slightest small or spot on the skin, they will affect the most. They always anxiety कि अगर मैं ऐसे चली गई, अगर मैंने ऐसा पहना है तो what will other people will think of me, what if they reject me, I have to be the best. They always want to be recognized. Even in their dreams there is a efforts, unsuccessful dress for the balls. Dreams of theatre, they could not get dressed. Always there is a consciousness what if मैं ऐसे चली गई, तो dreams में भी ऐसा ही आएगा, unsuccessful to dress. The quality of Maxwell's dreams are, they are mostly about efforts. Maxwell always put efforts. So they have dreams of efforts unsuccessful. Efforts do various to one thing. Efforts of drowning, water falling into, drowning people. Now what is drowning? Efforts to lose swim, drowning. So it's unsuccessful efforts, the dream of drowning. Now McFaws is about skin, urinary complaints are common and female complaints. Urine, there is a greenish urine with a red sediment. Urine sediment send red brick dust. In skin, small pimples all over the body which itches violently and warts are large and soft. Skin warts, condylomata, children name every current, then the McFaws is a remedy. And if they are large and soft, then also McFaws. Female, there is a thick leukorrhea, like menses. There is a thick leukorrhea and profuse. It's a Max self. And during leukorrhea, there is a pain in the thighs. Okay. And burning leukorrhea, which is aggravated by the motion, is the Max self single remedy in all these rubrics. Menses intermittent. 2 दिन आते हैं, फिर फ्लो रुक जाता है, फिर वापस 2 दिन आते हैं. That's a Max. Okay, some clinical significance. If there is any pain after potato eating or any constipation after or acidity after overeating, then the Max self is the remedy. Abdomen pain, stitching, potatoes after, stomach heartburn, eating after overeating, rectum constipation, overeating from. These are the single rubric medicine. Max self is there. ओके पेशेंट से ऐसा लगता है कि ऐसे कुछ स्मॉल इंसेक्ट्स ऐसा कुछ उंगलियों पे चल रहे हैं. Then if it is a finger tip and especially on the left side, then the Max self is the remedy, which is emulated by the rubbing, because rubbing causes warmthness. Okay. In Max self, the contentment is so much that if patient says कि मुझे फ़ोन लेना था और मैंने पापा को बोला कि फ़ोन चाहिए, ओके, और 20,000 चाहिए मुझे, पापा ने बोला कि खुद कमा लो फिर ले लेना फ़ोन, अभी नहीं चाहिए. तो वो जॉब करेगा, 2 महीने करेगा फिर छोड़ देगा। क्यों? क्योंकि मुझे 20,000 चाहिए थे, मुझे 21 मिल गया, अब मेरा काम खत्म हो गया, अब मैं जॉब छोड़ रहा हूँ। दैट मच कंटेंट मुझे चाहिए था, उतना मिल गया, खत्म। There was a case of professor. The patient was burned. There is 70% burns on the body, but there was no feeling. कुछ उसको लग ही नहीं रहा था। क्यों? क्योंकि बॉडी ने भी रिप्रेशन अपने एडेप्ट कर लिया है। They don't feel. The Maxwell was given. Now in the therapeutic value in gallstone colic, the 2 to 4 tablespoons of hot water taken on the onset of attack that may abort the colic in gallstone. So yes. Now just a differentiation of all. Medica, flat flabby, blunt, round faces. Mure is the sharp feature, lean thin. False is the sharp feature, lean thin, long neck. Sulf, more stout build, huge build because of sulfur, and palm are hot to touch. Okay. In Medica, brain diarrhea. Mure, there is a constipation, small rounded stool, greyish like a ship down. Sulf, there is aggravation. In Medica, it is more about responsible, self-worth, irritable, most irritable magnesium, anxious and self-sufficient. Mure, there is more duty-bound, introverted, sensitive, responsible, and forsaken feeling. In Magphos, is affectionate, like to make communicative, yet fear of that. And in Sulf, contented with himself, patient, scientifically motivated, cause of sulfur, and imagination, fancies, and jealousy. In Magphos, they are the most performer art, like dancing and singing. In Sulf, there is a more creative art, like painting or poems or anything. Carb is slow, Mune also slow, and Sulf is fast, and Mag Sulf is the hot one. Mune can be hot or chill. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing the wonderful journey of magnesium from the birth to the feeling of orphanage, to the development, and to the gambling part of their evolutions. So once again, very thank you for the wonderful sessions, and to the part of gratitude, I am sharing the gratitude with the token of love to our today's speaker, Dr. Richa Tailor. Thank you so much for the wonderful sessions. Now, our sir, my mentor, Dr. Jitesh sir, will give us guidance on the magnesium with a practical approach. So, Dr. Jitesh sir, please.
Thank you. 7 minutes. આમ તો જો કે રીચાએ બહુ સરસ રીતે બધું સમજાવી દીધું છે અને એવું કહી શકાય કે ઇટ વોઝ ધ હાયોસાઇમસ લેક્ચર. They will never give chance to speak. After Hyoscyamus, you cannot speak. What to speak? It is Hyoscyamus lecture. Everything has been covered beautifully and wonderfully. I would like to just correlate clinically how I perceive magnesium in my practice. Write down the 7 points. Magnesium action on the pituitary, brain stem, connective tissue, mesoderm. Mesoderm is a 2-part, mesenchyme and mesothelium. Liver. Okay. Now you will correlate everything, you will understand and repression, pacifism. And if you understand the whole lecture and correlate, you will understand the conflict, sphere of action, miasm and clinical presentation. Especially when brainstem, it's a case of coma. In all cases of the coma, I would like to prescribe magnesium by inspiring from the Dr. Vijay sir. Why and why? Because coma is a state of the contentment where you get the peace, you cannot harm anybody and you will go into the repression state. You understand this stage? You have to differentiate magnesium mure, sulf, or iode or fluor, whatever. Another connective tissue. Now we have connective tissue disorder, and magnesium is a combination of aurum, responsibility and conscientious, anxiety of the arsenic, and contentment of the opium. If you understand all autoimmune disease of the connective tissue, whether it is a lichen planus, whether it is a psoriasis, atopic dermatitis, where you understand the contact, relationship, 4 seconds, separation, attachment, detachment, and then the blend themselves and go into the pacifism and repression, you will understand that this is magnesium. When you understand the pituitary gland, you understand what is the function of the pituitary separation conflict. And separation, 4 second, isolation, love, care, warmth, bond, affection, milk. You understand the pituitary and prolactin. So whatever the problem of the agalactia, pituitary adenoma, you will find in the magnesium. Coma, connective tissue disorder, and liver. Why the liver affected? Because magnesium is going to the starvation. And starvation, especially of the love, care, warmth, affection, that's why sugar metabolism need to change and lipid metabolism need to change. That's why they go into the starved cell of the liver, and that's why digestion is weak. That's why putty like a stool, and they will go into the emaciation, finally marasmus. You will not understand the puzzle, you will not find any report, and patient will go into the deterioration without any kind of the investigation. Liver. Now if you understand nerves and muscles, there is a connection. Neuromuscular acetylcholine has a special action on the whether you spasm, cramps, neuralgia, whatever, where is the head to foot, you understand this is a just જ્યારે શરીર ન બોલી શકે ત્યારે બોડી તકલીફના રૂપમાં બોલે છે. Magnesium go into the repression, they will show into the aggression in the body form. So you will, by looking the pathologies, you will not understand that this is magnesium. It should be exact opposite. And another theme, black hole. I can say magnesium is a black hole remedy. If you want to come back for the person from the dead to life, then it is a magnesium. Thank you so much. ચલો હવે ચાલો મારે આકાશમાં જવાનું છે. ચલો.
A wonderful clinical insight in very snapshot 7 point. Thank you, sir, for giving us a wonderful knowledge to all of us, and thank you for everything you have given to us. So, as Dr. Richa has given a wonderful insight into study of magnesium, and today I am sharing with you what I learned from Vijay sir in the olden modules, and I am sharing a few clinical point of view what sir has mentioned in magnesium dispositions. So we have learned that magnesium is like that, there is a repression, there is no emotion to be shown, and there is a contentment. But how can you perceive at persons in a clinical setup? For some time you cannot find that this could be a magnesium. You have prescribed lot of medicines of introverted group of remedies, and out of that you cannot get why this person is not coming out of these situations or any complaint is suffering from. So to understand this, sir has given a very clinical aspect of disposition. So I am sharing with you a few points of magnesium with all of you. So when you find a disposition is very introverted, see, we have to differentiate a person. Sir has always given importance to the disposition. When a disposition, the first criteria was expressiveness or inexpressiveness of the genes. So this represents that if the person is self expressions is started when they enter into the clinic. So this sir says that it is an extroverted kind of personality, and when the persons we are probing so much to the into history, or person is giving answer by the force, then this kind of personality is an introverted kind of personality. So when we are dealing with a person, and when we get less detail from the persons, and we have to urge or force them to give information in a clinical setup, this kind of the person is introverted. So when you encounter this kind of individual in your clinic who are very mild looking, very quiet and introverted kind of personality. So when you find this kind of personality, when you find this kind of person, you will think lots of remedy like natrum, like ammonium, like sepia. Sepia when goes into dull state, they become very introverted. Lycopodium, it is also introverted because of haughtiness. So these are the few remedies. So out of this, the magnesium is very mild looking, quiet and introverted, never share their feelings. Okay. When you encounter the persons who is looking very sad, joyless, but never express their sadness to other persons, or it is called as an inert person. So tough persons suffering from the lot of emotions of their life, and they become tough. So rightly said, and Dr. Richa has given us a movie Pushpa. In that stage, you encounter that the childhood of that Pushpa was something very difficult, bad childhood, and out of that he forget everything. Okay, joyless, sadness, and become inert. But their psychotic demand is started changing, and he become a very gambler type of personality. So when you find this kind of personality, sad, joyless, or inner persons, so most of the time you find that there is a grief. So Magmore is the remedy for the grief. Okay. Again, when you find the person is very calm, not so aggressive, very cool, contented, and have a passion is personified. So what Jitesh sir has given us that when the person goes into state of coma, so their life goes into calm, their life goes into coolness, their life goes into no need of any extra things, contentment, and they become so patient. So this is something like when you find this kind of personality, you can think of magnesium. The persons being under the strong dominations of the mother, father, and develop rough hair. See, the hair represents. See, what we are giving? We are giving a stroke to the hair. We are giving this means that you are giving either a love or either appreciations by putting the hand on the head. Or sometimes when we give blessing to someone, that suggests that you are taking care of them. So when the persons who are strong dominated, but their hair represent roughness. See, when hair is very thin, you suggest that this is a mild kind of personality, timid kind. When there is a hair become rough means there is a lack of proteins. Okay, so there is a lack that represent that there is a lack of either appreciation or lack of love. So in that roughness, and the person is being very strong, dominated, then it is a magnesium. So you have to encounter, you have to look at the patient. Her hair is very rough and thick, or sometimes it is very curly also. Feeling of being orphan. See, I will not go into detail of this because Dr. Richa has given wonderful aspect of feeling of being orphan. It is not actually the orphan. In spite of having a family, friends, and in spite of having a good parents, and the person feels that I am not getting loved or cared by everyone. So this is something called as feeling of orphan. And so neglected, sensitive, and feels it is not sufficient. These are the feelings, lack of love, that represent into the magnesium. So delusion of being orphan, especially Magmure and Metcalf. Now what is the delusion? Delusion is the perception which is false, but had a belief that she or he is not getting love and care from the loved ones. So this is something that they feel I am a orphan. So when you find a mild, sad, contented, cool persons and having the feelings that I am not getting love from my parents, my family, my friends are the Magnesiums. Are you getting me? So when you find the people who are very sensitive to rudeness. So when we find sensitive to rudeness, we have first remedy is pulsatilla, another remedy is ignatia, another remedy is staphysagrina. So these are the another remedy is carcinosin. They are very sensitive to rudeness, sensitive to quarrel, sensitive to discord at homes or the office. So these persons who are the pacifier of everyone, they want harmony. What Dr. Richa has given the first slide, that the need is harmony. So they want harmony, they want balance. Okay, so when you find the problem between the chief and subordinate, discord between the relatives and friends, or there is a discord at the homes, or there is a discord between parents, father and mother. So when you find this kind of personality, the person suffer in the midline. Okay, so why midline? Because midline represent I want to balance the both side in a proper. As we have learned in our camp lectures, that I had mentioned that the persons wants harmony, persons wants the balance between two things. So in that two things, the problem start in the midline. So when you find the problem in the midline anywhere, either eruptions or either a structural damage, you can think of Magnesium. Are you getting me? So people and children who have intolerance to the milk, feels genetically no contact with the mothers, are the Magmure and Magcarp. So this is something that the milk is a nutrition part of the child, and the child does not digest. See, when you find the milk is given and the milk is vomited out, the another remedy you can think of, rebel again, poultice. It was a mercury. Okay, so Magmure also goes into aggressions, Magcarp goes into aggressions, angriness, because Magcarp is so much so irritable, whereas Magmure is so much so grief and sadness. So in that Magcarp you can think of mercury-like stage. Okay, so they are vomited out. Magnesium are introverted due to inertness. So inertness is nothing but it is non-expression. It is the word that they does not want to show their feelings. They goes into state of contentness. Rightly showed by the movie of Alia Bhatt, that in the Alia Bhatt, the state of Alia Bhatt is goes into, after being hurt, they goes into contentment. So this is called inertness. So sphere of actions, rightly said, liver, nerve, blood. So affection of the nerve causes weakness, electric shock, sudden pain, twitching, also known as a liver remedy. Liver is the part of energy. So energy is being disturbed, and the conflict of liver, you all know, it's starvation. So starve about the relationship, starve about the love, starve about the care, starve about the family, friends, those who are surrounded them, and they want just love. So again, the video of that boy, that I want I want to talk with you. I need, but I cannot express that things. So this is what they are starved, and that is why the liver is affected. Most of time, when you find older people who suffer from cancer of liver due to dispute in the family with the brother and sisters. So when you find this kind of state of affections, you can think of this remedy, magnesium. Magnesium goes into contentment. I had a case of operated case of cholangiocarcinoma. A female came to me with the complaint that cholangiocarcinoma, and it was adenocarcinoma of the liver, I think. Yes, adenocarcinoma of liver. It is not cholangiocarcinoma. It is too malignant, and the person will die. But it is adenocarcinoma of the liver, and that lady came to me after operations. So in that case, why this is happening? because she brought two children. She was around 65 years old, 66 years old, and she brought up both children. Her husband was very dominating, dictatorial, and he was something very strong personality. So she has to suffer all these things. I asked, why you are suffering? You have not rebelled anything. She said, just I have passed my life in this space of contentment, and due to that contentment, I found that she has not expressed any feelings. There is a problem in the family. She had to maintain everything. There is a problem of the both kids. The kid, it is not a kid, it is a adult, both are. And there is a problem with the relations of that children. The daughter got engagement broke, and then again there is a problem. The brother is not getting engagement because of relation problem. So most of this problem goes into their head, and she is not expressing. She is in so much grief. But when she came to my clinic, she will not express anything. So this was the state she came to me. But I found that this shows something that there is problem. So I asked deeper, and finally she broke, and she tell that I am so much sensitive to these things which is happening in my family, and I want everyone to be at one point, and I want them. So this is the need of that, and that disputes lead to the adenocarcinoma, insecurity. So on that, the basis of that, I prescribed Magnesium Group to that lady, and after Magnesium Group, the residual part of the adenocarcinoma, after the surgical operations, even the residues is there, it was also regressed, and the USG suggested everything was normal. So this is what one of the case, that cancer of the liver related to dispute in the family. So when you find this kind of personality, you can think of magnesium. So magnesium is talk indisposed to. Talk indisposed to magnesiums are the carbon, because they have indolent and lack of energy. Okay, serious looking people. One who loves broth. Broth is something that it is a soup. Okay, so when you find the person who likes soup, you can think of magnesium carb, because magnesium carb is sauropsychotic, magnesium mure is saurosyphilitic. Rightly said by Dr. Richa, the magnesium carb is plumpy, fatty, and magnesium mure is lean, thin, and sharp features and long neck. So this is what the physical part of the differentiations. Lethargic, slow because of the liver affections. Restless, move cannot because of the nerve affections of the legs. Okay. Magnesium carb, in spite of being slow, startleness is a little noise, where the opposite of the magnesium. So this is something that it is a nerve is oversensitive, and that due to that there is a startling and everything is happening. And finally, they are a very patient kind of personality. Very patient. See, anything which is not expressed as consciously, which is expressed in the form of subconscious process. So in a subconscious process, they have dreams, and the dreams of that why? Because why there is a dreams of unsuccessfulness? Because they have a sensitive to maintain the harmony between two things, and they are not getting that. So due to that, there is unsuccessful, either in the business, or either in the work, or either in the relationship, either in the love or relations. So in that, everywhere you find there is unsuccessfulness, because the subconscious mind is constantly working to solve this problem. That's why there is a lot of dream subconscious mind energy is used during the night time, and that's why the magnesium people wakes up in the morning with refreshment, because all night she said, I slept, but I cannot sleep properly. It is something that I am sleeping physically, but my brain is working totally, and I have a lot of dream of this, dream of that, unsuccessful, and everything is happened. So this is something called as unsuccessfulness. Again, they want everyone to be in the harmony. So they want home proper, they want love and care from the people around, but what they cannot get, so it they goes into somewhere else. They are out of the home, so they are lost in the forest, no one is cared for. So this is something psychotic. And finally, when this goes into a state of destructions, So aggression is there. So aggressions also that represent in the form of dead bodies and mutilation. Again, what happened? Those I am loving the persons, they are dead. So again, I feel the same things. I want care, love, affections from the everyone. The feeling of being orphan is. So this is the syphilitic dreams, and mostly rightly said by Dr. Richa, the chart of Chinese calendar. Out of that is the Chinese calendar of the time durations at the night 1 p.m. At the night 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. and in the morning 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. So this represent the actions of this. So in that they are aggravations. So when the person is not consciously expressing their feelings and the patient has a lot of dreams and not speak properly and unrefreshing in the morning, you can think of magnesium. So sleepy when try to sleep but cannot. That is the point. Electric shock like the pains, shuddering, twitching. This is the neuromuscular affections. The pain of the old fractures and the fracture that does not heal completely because of the slowness. Why fracture does not heal completely? You have learned the calcium and magnesium metabolism. You know. So what happens when the magnesium is working? The magnesium block the calcium channel, and when the calcium channel is blocked, so calcium cannot deposit into the bone. So fracture cannot heal properly. This is just a physiological process. So you have to rule out this. The old healing fracture. We always prescribe calcarea, phos, symphytum. These are the many remedies of the old fractures. But you can think that this magnesium is not allowing the calcium to deposit, and that is the reason behind there is old fractures and not healed properly. Are you getting me? Very physiological point of view of understanding. Again, the bad effect of the wound. See, when you think bad effect of the wound, so wound is something that the person got injured. It can be a traumata at the level of psyche, traumata at the level of the mental, or traumata at the level of physical, which is persistent, and that going to affect them. So this is called bad effect of the wound. Stuff head due to psychosis. McCav has a psychosis. Sulf has also psychotic feature, whereas Magnure is a pseudosyphilitic, a sharp feature. McCav round, power discharge, mental effect on the wound. See, this is what I have mentioned, that the bad effect of the wound. It is on the psyche, it is on the mind, and it is on the physical trauma. Okay, on the physical trauma, this is something that old fracture cannot heal. So we always say it's a brooder, but actually it is not a brooder. It goes into repression. Even they don't know what emotion I have suppressed, and they goes into state of containment. Okay, so liver affections. Liver is the intellect of the body. Very weak in the business, poor memory. This is the syphilitic aspect. But when they goes into psychotic, they goes into the gambling, making business very good. Play gambling for everyone, play games of money making, play gambling in the stock market. So this is something that when they goes into state of syphilis, they are a weak business and poor memory. Cannot remember his dream because the mind is overworking. Rightly said, memory automatic by the Dr. Richa. The repetition of the thoughts like a hanging of the computer, as the thought sucks up and same thoughts repeat again and again. So this is something hang up. Okay. So magnesium goes into state of this. The awareness of the magnesium is disturbed, and that goes into state of confusion, like calcarea also. So confusion in the rooms, confusion in the noise, confusion during digestion, because digestion is weak. So there is energy production is weak, and due to that energy production is weak, the glucose of the brain, digestive glucose, cannot reach properly to the brain, and the brain goes into deprivation, and that deprivation leading to the confusion state. So that is due to confusion, there is a concentration difficult. So in that due to concentration, they make the mistakes, and mistakes is very silly. So mistakes mostly in the writing. So children who have mistakes in the writing but not during eating, you can think of magnesium. Okay. Again, when the magnesium goes into a state of confusions or due to that, so in a subconscious level they goes into state of fancies. because they want pleasure, because they cannot get everything out of it, so they goes into a state of fancies, and fancies is something that is related to the reading about or reading while. So when they read story of love, they feel that I am being loved and cared. So this is something called they are in a state of fancies. In spite they are lacking that. So this is mostly the fancies in the reading while. And during reading there is also a hang up of the processor, so that lead to the concentration difficult because of digestion is disturbed. Emotions out of control. So when due to the liver cirrhosis, bilirubin increase in the persons become incensed, weak during liver problem. So what happened? Liver is affected. So what happened? The toxin cannot be eliminated from the liver. So that toxins is generated into body. That toxin goes into bloodstream, and that toxin goes into brain. So it is called as ammonia. Ammonia is generated into the body because of sluggishness of the digestion, and that is called as hepatic encephalopathy. When you find hepatic encephalopathy with this kind of symptom, you can directly, or hepatic encaph leading to the comatic stage with the contentedness of the persons, you can think of magnesium group, or incense weeps during liver problem. So there is a weeping, constant weeping, not explaining anything out of causeless weeping, causeless emotions due to liver troubles, hysteria in liver troubles, out of control. Any emotion goes out of control, it is called as hysteria. Especially during the liver illness, or any mental symptoms like confusion, anxiety, sadness, stupor, aggravated after eating or during digestions, you can think of magnesium. Okay, because of everything is in the liver. So wake up, cry, changing pitch and lamenting cry. Pulsatilla has pitiful cry. There is a difference between the magnesium and pulsatilla. So when both child are crying, you can feel that you can take the pulsatilla child and to carry them. But magnesium is very irritable and angry like chamomilla. You cannot take magnesium as to carry. Okay, and that also creates this vicious cycle of not being loved, and again out of that not being loved and crying, the child end up the situation that I don't want to cry, what rightly said by Dr. Richa. Okay, so wrong thought process. Person feels that he looks old, someone is crying behind him, and while reading also someone is reading behind him. I will share you one case of this person's looks older. So I had a case of a female, a girl of around 21 year old, not actually 21, it is 19 years old girl, came to me with the complaint. She is very tall, and she said the history that she had some PCOD or something else problem. I don't remember that complaint, but what I took into that, she said that I had a lot of friends, I want friend, but nobody play with me. I asked what happened, why nobody is playing with you? So she said that at my age I was too much tall and my friend of that are too small. So they should tell me that you are too bigger to us, you are too old to us, that is the reason they are not playing with me, and I feel very bad out of it. Due to this height, I feel that nobody is playing with me, and I look much bigger than that or much older than that. So this is what the feelings, and they want that I want to become too small. So when I want to become too small, the reason behind that, the PCOD is happening. So if I am too small, that means if I am too big or older, nobody is taking care of me, nobody is loving me. So there is a conflict between that happening, and she suffer from the PCOD. So out of that, I asked that, do your parents feel like this? My parents says, don't worry beta, you are बड़ा हो गया है तू, don't worry, ये बच्चों के साथ खेलना नहीं है. अभी वही उसके दिमाग में चल रहा है. Or she said that no friends with me, no friend loves with me. So I took two rubrics. Delusion, she is friendless, not taken by the love by the parents, family, friends, wife. And second one, delusion, she feels I am too old. मैं इतनी बड़ी हो गई हूँ कि ये सब मेरे साथ नहीं रह रहे हैं. That was the perception. So out of these two things, I prescribed magnesium mute to her, and magnesium mute help her to get her menses properly. So this was one of the case I had from these rubrics. Delusion, he looks too old. Okay, same age friends are not playing with that because her height was too. So she feels that due to my height, I am too old, and that is the perception, wrong perception leading to this process. So this was my case I had in the clinic. So mind is affected by the injury. So there is physical injury causes sadness, depression, indolence, and indifference. So when the injury happened to the magnesium, they goes into sadness, depression, indolence, and indifference. When the injury happened to the psychology of the ammonium, so ammonium reaction become aggressions. Natrum goes into regression. So regression is something brood over the things and everything. And paratum, there is no progressions. Okay. So this is what something injury. So patients, magnesium persons is patient and contented, introverted due to dullness and inertness. There is a torpor of the liver. There is a nerve hypersensitivity, sensitive to rudeness, orphan feeling, friendlessness, aggravation, milk, and morning. These are the ruling in point of magnesium. So when you find everything out of it, you can think of magnesium. So magnesium in nutshell, everything she has mentioned, nothing to mention about it. Okay. So when the magnesium sulfate is there, you have to think that palms are hot and cold. Magnesium is phos is there. Phosphorus need cold things to crave for the cold things. Magnesium carb. So magnesium carb has a milk aggravation, fat rounded features, and let go tendency with slowness, sluggishness, and the greenish of the stool. And the magnesium mure has a sharp features, constipation. Magnesium carb has a diarrhea, sourness. Everyone knows the sourness. The trio of sourness. Medica, bloom, and another remedy, chamomilla. We have three remedy, trio of sourness, khatta. Okay, sour diarrhea. So Medica, bloom, and chamomilla. So in that mag mure has a constipation. All muriatic has constipation because muriatism has a feeling that I don't want to express. So I have to express. See, stool constipations, conflict associated with the constipations means you have to collect the dirt. So the stool is something that you have to dispose it. Those persons who cannot dispose, they suffer from constipation. So all muriaticum cannot dispose their feelings, and that is why they suffer from the constipation. And they dispose the feelings in a very cut short manner. They dispose then close. They dispose then close. So that is the reason behind there is a crumbling of the stool at the anus. So all muriaticum has this. Natrum mure is there, mag mure is there, muriatic acid is also there. There is a crumbling of stool at the verges of anus. So these are the few points of magnesium. So magnesium has contentment. So what magnesium is typically says that I have a pain, but I can tolerate it. Okay. So this is what the contentment of the magnesium. The person who have no friends, no enemies are the magnesium, and their tolerance is so high. No friends, no enemy. What she said that magnesium can be everywhere. They can adjust with everyone because they don't want anything. They want just love and care from the persons. They never express them to other persons also. We have seen the comedians saying that they want, I want, but I cannot share that I want these things. I want as you are the human being. So I want the same way they want. So there is no enemy, no friends. These are the magnesiums. And their answer is, I have a pain. Even what the comedian says, there is a pain. but I can tolerate it, I can manage it. Okay, and they are contented with the himself. So when we find contented in himself, we have many remedies. Out of this, magnesiums are slow due to lethargy of the mind. Opium has also painless, same thing, and the magnesium that I have a pain. Why opium? Opium goes into state of painlessness because benumbing of the nerves. And due to that benumbing of the nerves and comatose state, they are goes into state of painlessness. But whereas magnesium is something that I have a pain, but I can tolerate. How can you differentiate these things? The children who have injury and they cannot cry. So you can think there is a pain, but they can tolerate it. Again, this is a magnesium salt. They are the magnesium. And also there is a opium also. The person, when you put blood from the small children and putting the needle into their vessels, and the children never cry. This is something called painlessness. I had a case of Dr. Nishan. Dr. Nishan said that in an acute stage of the fever due to something happened that the child was there, and there is a fever of the child, high grade fever. And what happened? The day before, the dog is there in the society. So dog was barking, and after that two dogs were barking. He tried to provoke that dog, and suddenly the dog ran behind him, and he got frightened. And after that, so much of fright, next day he got fever, and fever is there, and dullness is there, sleepiness is there. And Dr. Nishan, that why this child becomes so much so dull and sleepy. So we thought that this is a toxic fever was there, or bacterial fever. So he advised investigation, and he rang the laboratory people to collect the blood from. So in the clinic, when the person is phlebotomist take the blood from the vessels, he never cried. And this observation suggests that this is the opium child. Painlessness of the complaint, ailment from the fright, and the fever sudden. So this is what Dr. Nishant has given opium, and next day everything becomes normal. So this is the acute picture of the opium. So hope you all enjoy the process of magnesium in nutshell. This is the nutshell of the magnesium. Again, every aspect of the Materia Medica is a vast subject of our learning process, but we are just putting a small things or small effort to give you a few clue of understanding the persons in our clinical practice, and that is what my aim to share with all of you. So thank you all for joining with us, and thank you Team Shah for making this journey wonderful, to share your thoughts, feeling, understanding and your love with all of us, as well as those who are learning online. So thank you all, my Team Shah, and thank you Dr. Richa for these wonderful lectures.